Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right. Alton Sterling of Baton Rouge, Louisiana was shot to death in an altercation with police. Well, let's throw that race-baiting chum out there for the liberal sharks to go crazy over. We know the routine. Unarmed black man gunned down by a white cop. Now, would y'all be just as angry about Clarence Thomas being shot by police? Nah. Y'all fantasize about bad things happening to him. All over some allegations concerning Anita Hill and a Coke can. Meanwhile, Alton is on record as a pedophile. But you're mad because he was shot, but you want people like Clarence Thomas to suffer? If you're so pro-black, where's the outrage for the kid Alton molested? Doesn't that black kid's life matter? Alton has a criminal record, which includes resisting an officer. Hey, if cops were so eager to shoot black people, I guess that cop could have shot him then, right? Alton was a drug-dealing member of the Bloods with multiple arrests. Oh, but I know. You're not supposed to judge Alton by his past. We're never ever supposed to judge any of these hoodlums by their past. The same people who say that you should never judge people by their past are the same people who judge America for its past every freaking day. The BLM movement and the Check Your Privilege campaign is a daily judgment on white people for America's past. They judge white people today for stuff they weren't even around to do. But the justification is that white people are benefiting for what white people did in the past. So white people today have to be judged for the white people in the past. When they just hypocritically said that you should not be judged for your past. Black people are getting killed because people keep making excuses and enabling the behavior that gets them killed. Stop enabling this behavior and stop making excuses for it. Y'all, I'm just trying to do my little part to show that black people do not have to be shackled into this lockstep way of thinking. And artists don't have to be shackled to these narratives either. Most artists are tools used to promote the leftist ideology. Artists lend themselves to be used to erode the culture with self-righteous worldviews. Too many in the black community are doing the same thing, not realizing that they're tying their own rope. They always want to qualify their blackness by invoking words like strange fruit to show that they know the language of the struggle. Meanwhile, they're planting the seeds that grow the trees that they're becoming strange fruit on. They're getting themselves killed and blaming other people for it. And all the Afrocentrists can say to me is that I hate my own people. Yeah, I hate my black people so much that I take the time to warn them so they can turn away from their ways and stay alive and thrive. These same people say that I'm a sellout looking for the spotlight. Meanwhile, how often do you see me on TV? I actually keep a pretty low profile for some supposed sellout who's just seeking the spotlight. Matter of fact, I was just invited to be on a panel for a CNN show that wanted to discuss the incident concerning Alton Sterling. From the get-go, I didn't want to go on because I didn't want to be part of sensationalizing the death of another black man, or anybody really. Because that's what it is, sensationalism. Let's get some opposing views in a room so they can raise heat for ratings while not shedding any light. As they feed the camera with heightened emotions and see who can be the loudest voice as they jock for position. But we've been doing it. We've been having these conversations like people on the left keep saying that we have to have. And oh snap, another black man is dead, and there's gonna be more protests. A lot of good more of that talking did. The people who keep demanding that we need to talk about it don't want to have a conversation. They just want to yell at and blame other people. These people want vengeance, not a conversation. These people are emotionally damaged and want an audience for their catharsis. The other reason why I refuse to go on is because they refuse to list me as AlfonZo Rachel, drummer for 20 Pound Sledge in the Chiron. So, the show wants me to stop doing what I'm doing during the day, come down to their studio, express my views to their audience who is already prejudiced against my views, which gets followed by actual bigots responding to me, calling me the house N-word, bootlicker, Uncle Tom, white man's whore. Oh, and the occasional threats. This affects me and those who are close to me, but despite what it costs me, it's too much for them to put in the Chiron that I'm AlfonZo Rachel, drummer for 20 Pound Sledge?
Should I have played the race card and told them that they had to do it because I'm black?
Now, some of y'all are thinking, oh, Zo, you're just mad because they won't promote your band. You're all about just promoting your band. You are so sadly mistaken. If there's one of those things that I can point to that the black community is very right about, it's about how the news and entertainment media uses black people and uses them to control how they want black people to be perceived. When it suits the leftists of this country, blacks are made out to be a bunch of victims who have been done wrong by the white man, but it's gonna take the white man to come and save them. Vote Democrat. Now, when I insist that I am listed as the drummer of 20 Pound Sledge, that's me taking control instead of letting the media control how they're gonna portray another black man. Let's not promote black people as something different other than what we want them to be perceived as. Now, here it is that too much of the black community contributes to the way that the media portrays them and then gets mad about it. The black community gets mad about being stereotyped, yet will ostracize other people in the black community for not being authentically black enough according to the stereotypes they get angry about. The biggest selling music pertaining to the black community promotes sex, sex, and more sex. It objectifies women, it promotes violence and drug use, and then black people get mad when people have a fixed view of them. Now, I represent a lot of black folks who don't follow the formula that keeps black folks marching in the same miserable circle, who refuse to let the media control how we're perceived and give them any justification to do so. I'm a musician, and I don't abide by the expectation that as a songwriter that I contribute my abilities to making music that glorifies debauchery, misogyny, violence, and selfishness and self-righteous butthurt. Nah, I'm a drummer in a band that rocks the gospel for Jesus Christ. That's why it's so important for me to list myself in this manner on these shows. I have to do my little part to make that distinction because due to the propaganda of the liberal media, people are often conditioned to see black people in a certain way. I don't want to let the media control how I'm perceived. I actually try to do my little part to represent that there's actually a lot of black folks in America that just want to provide good products or good services, be good husbands, wives, and parents, and be good neighbors. But that's kind of hard to do when the media feeds off of sensationalizing the idea that blacks are victims, when the biggest victimizers of black people are other black people and the Democrats they keep voting for. Buku bucks were spent on Jesse Williams to yammer off some guilt-tripping, race-baiting butthurt. Why? Because the media depends on artists to promote their agenda. But when it comes to changing the narrative, all of a sudden me being an artist isn't important to them. No, I'm just a black commentator with a dissenting point of view. I'm not desperate to be on these talk shows, y'all. I'm tired of all the talk as it is. Thank you so much for coming to get your refill from the Zoloft. And if you dig our sessions, I hope you'll visit my website, AlfonZoRachel.com, to see how you can support. So I keep the supply coming. I hate my own people.